Grand rising and highest vibrations to all. Right now you are watching the best spiritual advisor on the planet, Sri Master Gano Grills. Are you being spiritually fed? I know I am. Galacticus.
Good evening, all you beautiful, beautiful people. How's it going? Let's get the likes up, guys. Let's hit that like button. And I would ask all of you to subscribe to our channel. If you're not subscribed, it will only take you a hot second to do so. So this way you can get the push notifications about when our videos go live and you can tune in. So here we are to 2020. I like the sound of that. An auspicious date. I wanted to start off with thanking everyone who attended the love seminar right here in New York City. And thank you for everyone who attended the apotheosis. That email will be going out in another week, guys. Need to be just a little more patient, because what happens is that there is a major contract that is being drawn up, and it's not here yet. But when it gets here, you guys will get the opportunity to take the journey of the apotheosis if you choose to. And at the love seminar, we had people, again, from all around the world. And this is our first seminar that we did on a Friday, Freya's Day. It's a very auspicious day of the week. And we had a really, really good time. And we took a closer look at transgenderism, homosexuality, incest, bestiality, human trafficking. We looked at some issues that really hold us back as a planet, as citizens who are really not aware of how all of these things affect each and every one of us individually on a secular level. And it's important for us to be aware of the things that we can do cohesively as a unit to bring more light onto the planetary planes that we have to live on. It's very interesting, isn't it? That you guys have the power to change your world. You don't change the world before changing your own reality first. There are a lot of people who are watching me in this moment who want to be life coaches and light bearers and way showers, and that's great. We need a lot more of that. But you have to fix your life first. You have to be an example that will attract other people that you are destined to help. That's how it works. And it'll be a lot easier if you are the shining example within your own area of what it looks like to have your life together. Doesn't that make sense, guys? So when we looked at the love seminar, a lot of uncomfortable things happened. I gave the audience an opportunity to reveal if they had an open heart chakra. We did that once or twice. And some of the people in the audience have some work to do. For all of you guys who were there, you know. When people are walking around with a heart chakra that is in disrepair, that will affect your life. The heart is the mechanism that you, by and large, utilize to manifest things, to experience the material reality. You came to this world by your own volition. You wanted to be here. So why not have the healthiest heart that you can have? And when we did this experiment, if you will, it's very interesting to look at the audience, and I watched you guys really, really carefully. I watched to see who would respond to the stimulus that we presented. The people who did not respond in the way that they should have, I don't want you to be ashamed. I don't want you to be embarrassed. That's not what it was about. It was really to illuminate where you might be. And you know, when a car has a problem, a car is a vehicle. The body is a vehicle. A car is a vessel that transports you from place to place, hopefully in luxury and comfort, if you don't have a hoopty. But there are some people that have a hoopty of a body. Their body is not as opulent as it can be. There are lots of people that have health issues. There are people that don't breathe palpable, reinvigorating breaths. There are people whose health is compromised. And to that end, it makes life more of a struggle to live out. One of the things that we want to do is be aware of all of the energy and awareness that we can bring to the areas of weak point training. What do I mean when I say that? When people go to the gym, I like to use gym as an analogy because I've spent a lot of time in the gyms. And the gyms, and watching how people work out and observing how people sometimes don't do an exercise correctly, it does create some very interesting algorithms. But when you go to the gym, you have an opportunity to build your body to a point that is attractive to a lot of people. This is why a lot of people really go to the gym. Yes, they want to be healthy, but they want the benefit of looking good. They want the benefit of catcalling. They want the benefit of women walking up and squeezing the muscles and the guy tightens up, and the one says, "Oh my God, your arms are so large." Guys love that. Guys will tighten up the moment you go to try to touch their arms. We turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger immediately. We want you to think that we're literally that rigid, and women go nuts over that. Women, on the other hand, like to go to the gym, and you guys like to look good, and everybody in the gym is working on a certain area that they want to be pronounced. But at a certain point in your development, there's something called weak point training. What does that mean? It means that you have reached a certain point of development overall, and you're good. Your calves are good, your biceps are good, your glutes are strong, but there's that one area that needs a little more attention. And as a result, you want to zero in on that one area. For a lot of women, it might be the triceps, or it might be the calves. That's one of my weak points. Yes, my calves work. Hi, Mom, if you're watching, because you can say, well, your calves have gotten you. I know, Mom, I understand. I'm very grateful for my calves, but they're not as muscular as I would like them to be, because I look at other people's calves and I say, wow, they have some nice calves. I wish my calves were that big. I have Kenyan calves. So when you go to Africa and you look at the Kenyans, they are the ones that win the races. I run really, really fast. So I may have more of that in my genetic gene pool than most other people, or more of the presence of it. As a result, I have to work a little harder in the calf department to get more of a result. When you look at weak point training, you look at the areas of your physiology that need more attention, and you zero in on it, and you bring them up to date with the rest of the development of your overall body. It's really no different when you talk about spirituality. When you look at certain areas of your life, where are you failing? Where are you challenged? Where can be applied more of the energy and the attention to make your life more buoyant, right? For some people, it's they don't make enough money at their job. Some people, it's relationships. Some people, it might be housing. Some people have car accidents a lot. There is a person listening right now, and this person has been rear-ended several times. Boom, 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 in their vehicle. I told this one particular person, you have some karma that you need to balance out in the transportation area of your planetary arrangement. There is a way to do that. And until you do that, you will continue to be rear-ended at the most weird times, especially when certain planets go into a declination period or they go retroactive. This is something that we need to look at, and this is why the axiom is real. Know thyself. It doesn't just mean know your blood type or know your email address. It means that if you live in a body, you should know everything about you that there is to know. What is your morality? What is your karmic score? Who are your divine parents? What is your divine lineage? What do you stand for? What do you not stand for? What are your weaknesses? What are the things that you may succumb to? It's good to know all of those things. It's good to know how brave you are, how courageous you are, how you will die if necessary. What will you sacrifice your life for? What diseases will you not entertain if it were to come to your radar? All of these things are ways in which lead to a finer development, a gradient of association that has everything to do with you. The more you know yourself, the easier it is to evolve because now you have more purpose and direction. Doesn't that make sense? So I wanted to talk about that just a little bit. So tonight, you guys, I'm going to answer at least 10 of your questions. You guys have poured in lots of questions on Facebook. My girls will get you. Subscribe to our channel. We have a very formidable group on Facebook. It is the Galighticus page, the official home of Lord Thoth Tsuhuti. He speaks quite clearly on that channel. We also have a page on Instagram if you care to join us there. Now, some people say, well, I don't use Facebook. I don't use Instagram. And that's okay. But if you think about getting back on social media simply for the tool and the benefit of having an enclave of people that are like-minded, you can benefit from the resource of being connected to our pages. You don't have to succumb to some of the other ratchetry and foolishness that also comes with social media. You can bypass all of that and go strictly to Galighticus and read it daily. Look at some of the testimonies that people are having. Look at some of the miraculous occurrences that you guys really share. And thank you so much for that. Also, I wanted to thank everyone who brought a gift on our 3 days together. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your kind hearts and your sentiments. Christopher Santiago, yes, I like my gift very much. And like I've said before, whenever you guys bring a gift, you are bringing a gift directly to the energy of Lord Thoth, and it does count as a quantified offering. Now, some of you may not understand that, but what happens is that when there is a presence of an avatar on the planet, they represent the vehicle of the intelligence that was once known to be on this planet, a god or a Lord God or a divine being. They continue to move out of the neighborhood of Earth, but their work still continues. And the avatars are responsible for carrying and embodying and being a hair on the head of that particular being. It's a very large responsibility. But when people come through and they honor that, that's what it is that you are connecting to. So I wanted to elucidate that a little bit more for you guys. You guys are wonderful. I loved all of the gifts. I'm very, very grateful to you guys. Keep it coming. When you take the time to look at this video, I want you to really open up your ears, open up your inner hearing so that you can digest the answers that we're going to corner tonight. All right. Now, one of the things, guys, let's get the thumbs up. Let's push the like button so we can raise up the crawling of this video so that it can place a little higher, which means more people will have the opportunity and the benefit of seeing these videos. So hit the like button. Take a second. And while you guys are getting the numbers up to at least 175, I also want to acknowledge the life of a young man named Pop Smoke. He lost his life yesterday. This is a message to the young, melanated, black rapper. I'm talking directly to you guys now. It is really important that, well, first of all, let me just zero in on the energy of Pop Smoke. This young man is very talented. He had a quality about him that I think is very analogous to according to 50 Cent. Now, 50 Cent never said anything about this, but I'm going to say it for him. How many of you remember G-Unit, right? Young Buck. Young Buck, I think, was one of the last members outside of the game to come to G-Unit. Young Buck was talented. He had a fresh look and a fresh energy. But when you look at Young Buck, his luck did not allow him to go forward into the heights of what he could have had. Very talented young man. But he really could not get away from the bad luck that hugged him. So much to the point where I think even 50 Cent started distancing himself from Young Buck. Only to fast forward and look at this young cat named Pop Smoke. Now, let's put it on a scale. Actually reminds me of me about 25 years ago. And he was making noise. He was making lots of songs. He did a song with Travis Scott and Nicki Minaj, and he was well known. He was on his way into the heights of really good success and notoriety, fame, and stardom. And I think he had enough talent to fuel that. But unfortunately, and this is something that you guys have to know, you guys are too flashy. All of the, as these kids say today, drip, gold and the jewels and the diamonds. You know, you need to prioritize where some of your money is going. And it's important that you guys prioritize more having a home that you own, having a diversified portfolio, having assets, not wearing the total sum of your assets on your neck, in your mouth, or on your fingers, because that is a dinner bell to some of the wolves that are out there, that are watching you, that are scoping you, that are making friends with you and scheming on you. That element is real, and people who do not have are forced to think in a certain way. You know, being criminal minded is very easy, and if someone is in your face with all of this drip and jewels and iciness and bling and whatever you guys call it, it's going to create another dynamic. Now, how do you counter that? Spiritual protection is very important to have. I just came from Los Angeles, as some of you guys know, and I was out there for Oscar weekend. A lot of my clients are in different points all throughout the industry, whether they are in sports, music, politics, or otherwise. Some of them are known, some of them are not known. One of the things that a lot of them have in common is that they want to keep Street Master Gano Grills. Shh, they want to keep that quiet. They don't want anybody to know that I am their ace Kumbun. But for all of the ones that don't care, I have to shout Omarion out, because he's someone that's like, no, I want people to know where I stand. I want people to know that I am spiritually connected and that I carry the flag of spiritual evolution, and he doesn't mind letting it be known where he is at. And thank you so much for that, Omarion. As a result, someone like Omarion, who is in the open about this spirituality and does not hide it from the masses, is going to have the same kind of open blessings that come with not hiding something that should not be clandestine or arcane. Right? So when we went out there, we did some rituals. We did some hypernectaral magic. And I think he has a new song coming out tomorrow, and I heard the music. Sounds really, really good. You did your thing. I like Can You Hear Me? And I don't even know if I should call the name of the next single. I'll keep that to myself. But what I heard, I liked it a lot. Message to the young black rapper. It is important to prioritize where you stand and really look at the security of how you're moving. You can't smear your riches, and it's not wealth yet, but it's riches, in the faces of people that don't have it. And P. Diddy, you are to blame for this. Calling you out, P. Diddy. Sean Puffy Combs, yes. He is the one that created the term player hating. And, you know, I know you can't get mad at me, Puffy, for talking about it, because one of the things I remember that you were doing in 1994 was a lot of people, you know, don't really understand what it is to be amongst someone that has opulence without becoming disdained, chagrined, slighted. That generates resentment in people if you're not aligning yourself with the regularity of how most people have to conform their lives. People don't really understand what it is to live a life that's like a Hype Williams video, over the top and eating at Mr. Child's and Nobu and all of these places. Most people don't live like that, but it's not a real thing. So you have to be careful about people, according to Sean Puffy Combs, player hating. It's a real thing. You don't want to draw that to yourself. You want to make sure that, again, you are not wearing the sum total of your riches around your neck. and on your body. And you don't live in a gated community. You don't have a security force. You don't have spiritual protection. This is the recipe. If you look at Extension, I believe that's his name, he also succumbed to a violent outburst of someone's jealousy. Doesn't have to be that way, guys and girls. Guys need to spend a little more time thinking about your own morality and getting your house in order. The best way to do that is to have spiritual protection and some baseline. And I don't mean going to the church, because as you can see, Jesus did not stop those bullets. Joel Osteen and T.D. Jakes did not materialize and block that robbery or some of the things that happened. Jesus Christ did not come down and say, no, you will not harm my sons. It doesn't happen that way. You have to institute that. And if you are in a fight and someone is punching you in the face and you're not blocking it and weaving it, you deserve to get hit. Now, I'm not saying that any of these people deserve to die, but what I'm saying is it is up to you to protect yourself. You also have to be aware of who's watching you, who knows where you're at. I think Kim Kardashian had succumbed to a robbery not that long ago. And from what I remember, she got. This is the reason why people are saran wrapping their luggage these days, because they don't want to succumb to the invitation of theft. So, guys, in the industry, at least talking about the rap industry, let's talk about it from a different angle. It is my belief that, unfortunately, the people who are financing and bankrolling the young rapper, the machine that is behind some of these young rappers that you have seen, from Pop Smoke, XXXTentacion, Nipsey Hussle, and lots of other rappers, may not care as much about if client lives or dies. It's a machine. May not be as concerned with their mortality as you may like to believe. Let's sell as many records and get as much streaming as possible. There's a machine that's behind that. There also is another agenda. You look at Tekashi 6ix9ine. There's a drug culture that's being sponsored. There is an agenda that's going on. And let's be clear about this. When someone gets killed, there is an insurance policy on your life. The machine is going to make money whether you are alive or dead. They might even make more money if you're dead. The insurance policy is big enough, They say before this young rapper gets out of whack and gets into trouble, because we know he's only going to have a 2-year shelf life, let's make as much money off him and let's, help him die faster. So now the estate of Pop Smoke, I don't know if there was a trust set up. I don't know if his loved ones are connected to a will. I don't know if all of the streaming that he should own will benefit his loved ones or his next of kin. But what I will say is, if I knew Pop Smoke, I would have snatched him up. I said, bro, come here. Let me talk to you for a minute. This is what we need to do. We need to do this, that, and the third. And he would have understood me. And I don't think that would have happened to him. If I knew XXXTentacion, he would not have succumbed to the violent murder that took his life away from his fans. Dare I say, if I knew Nipsey Hussle, don't think he would have left this life in the manner in which he did. Just something to think about. Priorities, guys. Put your mortality first. Prioritize your spiritual protection. Look me up. I will help you. Are you guys ready to take a look at some of the questions? All right. Here we go. Our very first question comes from Miss Shane, still my name, on Facebook, and she asks, I need to know more about interfacing with sequence of power and words of power. How many times per day? And how many should you do in one sitting to prevent an overload of energy? Great question. So, Miss Shane, when you're interfacing with sequence of power and words of power, you want to be very clear about how you're feeling during the interface of it, right? You have the directions and how to utilize it. It has always been my direction that you should not you should not try to make permanent more than one word of power or sequence of power at a time. That could easily create too much divine energy within your body. It's really no different from your phone having too many apps open at the same time. It's going to stall out the general operating system and your phone is going to freeze. And that might not be very convenient if you need to access certain things. So you want to be mindful of, if you're going to make it a permanent part of your soul, you want to do one at a time. Now, if you're simply interfacing with it, you have the mechanism of how to do it. And this is for all of you who would like to know. The best way to do it is before you go to bed at night, because you're putting your body to rest and you are not interfered with in terms of your consciousness fully interfacing with the power of the word of power or the sequence of power. It's a lot easier to see what it can do when you utilize it that way. It's better, you can interface with as many as your consciousness can handle. So if you're in meditation and you'd like to interface with 1, 2, or 3, you can do that. It is up to you. Take the time to note the feelings, the visions, the insight. Each word of power works with an individual a complete different way. It depends on the energy that is inside of you. It depends on where your level of consciousness is at.
Show us your light.
It also depends on what your karmic score is. There are many mitigating factors that contribute to what the outcome of your interface will be. So there is not a broad stroke answer that comes with what you can expect when you interface with a particular word of power or a sequence of power. It really depends on how well you engage it and how well you are following the mandates of it, obviously, which is no drinking, smoking, cursing, right? And you want to make that a baseline foundation so that you can get the very best result that there is to get. So I hope that answers your question.
The hard way, huh?